democracy wasn't imposed in 2000. It was essentially cancelled, so that Serbia could serve the globalist agenda. And the world was clueless about the extent to which the voting process in Serbia was a farce.
You have dead people voting.
Dead people vote?
Yeah, dead people vote. As you vote, there are those lists of voters. So if somebody just puts a cross next to it and signs up and then puts a ballot in the, who's to know? There's a joke in Serbia, when a man comes to the voting place, votes and then puts a chair down and sits down. And then the election officer asks him, so what are you doing here? I'm waiting for my father, he says. Well, wait for him at home. I said, well, no, he died some time ago, but I see he votes every year, so I'm waiting here to see.
Serbs have dark humor.
Yes, we do.
And it's probably this dark humor that helped us survive the dark times that we've lived through. Over 20 years ago, 420,000 missiles fell on Serbia. NATO damaged much more than our infrastructure, factories, television stations, hospitals, schools, kindergartens, our health and environment. They damaged our psyche. Much of the Western world engaged in a merciless propaganda campaign to turn the proud people of Serbia into... And this led many Serbs to think less of themselves. So they had to break our spirit, and they chose politicians who were once fiercely anti-NATO to lead the way.
Uveren sam da će oni koji jesu zločinci, a to su pre svih Bill Clinton, Tony Blair, Gerhard Schröder, uskoro u nekom novom Nürnbergu odgovarati za sve zločine koje su počinili nad srpskim narodom I nad ovom zemljom.
But instead of prosecuting all of them at a new Nuremberg-style trial for illegally bombing a sovereign country,
heute Abend hat die NATO mit Luftschlägen gegen militärische Ziele in Jugoslawien begonnen.
Alexander Vučić invited Schroeder to speak at Vučić's presidential campaign rally, exactly 18 years after NATO's bombing started.
Herr Präsident, lieber Freund Alexander.
Imagine Franklin Roosevelt inviting Japanese Prime Minister Tojo, the general who ordered the bombing of Pearl Harbor, to campaign for Roosevelt. Believe it or not, the US had different plans for Tojo. But aside from asking for Schroeder's support, an even higher honor was bestowed by Vučić's government upon the most aggressive supporter of NATO's bombing campaign.
Former British Prime Minister Tony Blair will advise Serbia's current Prime Minister, Alexander Vučić, who used to be a staunch critic of the ex-British leader, so much so he edited a book titled English Gay Fart Tony Blair. Classy, huh?
It's a humiliation. I have a physical reaction to that. I remember what kind of lies these people did produce. Maybe actually they're helping government to lie. They know how to do it.
What happened to Serbia was an experiment. They experimented on our environment, our health, our economy, our system, and in the end, our psyche. As the last depleted uranium bombs exploded, the mental bombing continued, and many felt powerless under the weight of chains. Change is no longer a matter of choice. It's a question of our bare survival. Future generations are at stake.
If there is a hope for change, it will come only through self-organized citizens of Serbia.
And when 18-year-old high school student Pavle Cvejić was arrested and expressly sentenced to 30 days of jail time simply because he expressed his political views at a protest in Serbia's national television, his friends from school decided that enough was enough.
apelacije je ukinula prekršajnu presudu najmlađem političkom zatvoreniku Pavlu Cvejiću i on je pušten iz pritvora.
Yup, the revolt had to begin somewhere. And it did.
Odmah mene lažu i rade me ko volinu. Pričaju mi za Jožu da se sanka u koritu. Dali su mi maramu, zastavu i zakletvu. Drugovi se ne prodaju ni za kajmaka kašiku. A bunje su uvalili po vilama na Dedinju. Šator svi smo isti, ali svinje ipak vladaju. Smo hteli demokratiju, izašli na ulicu, trošili energiju.